maybe some kind of strawberry syrup.
Strawberry condensed milk of some sort.
Yeah, and peanuts.
Mm-hmm. And what just happened with this cursed kayak, Megan?
Well, we don't know for sure.
We know for sure.
Gabe knows
I know for sure.
I was sitting in the front, and it seemed fine to me, but Gabe was in the back, and tons of water kept coming into the kayak, and he was kind of sinking back there.
Yes, I was kind of sinking back there, and Megan didn't believe me when we were in the middle of the deepest lake in Central America. Having a little adrenaline rush back there. But we made it, and here we are, eating some ice cream.
So we just got out of our Airbnb and we're walking towards the lake to go get some kayaks. And we just noticed that it looks like they're kind of setting up for a street market. It is Saturday, so we're assuming maybe there's like a weekend market going on. And it's just starting to pick up.
Meat grilling, food being prepared, people selling earrings and bracelets. Beach vibe. Beach vibe. So I'm gonna follow Megan down to Renta de Kayaks to see how beautiful the other beach on the other side is, called Playa Cristalinas. Is that what it's called, Megan?
I think it's Las Cristalinas.
Las Cristalinas. We're gonna rent some kayaks and we're gonna kayak right over to the beach. Alright, so we found the kid who rents kayaks. And it should cost 15 quetzales per person per hour.
Pretty good deal.
It's very cheap for some kayaks for a few hours.
The sun is blazing today.
Super hot, way better weather than yesterday. And the lake looks beautiful. We're in the middle of Lake Atitlan in this tiny kayak.
Very tiny kayak, very low into the water.
Very intimidating. We're surrounded by mountains and volcanoes, and there are boats in the lake. And this is the deepest lake in Latin America, or in Central America.
And there's a fast tourist boat coming up next to us, so we're gonna try and get out of the way. Gabe, you getting tired back there?
Woo, we are in the deepest lake in Central America. I'm feeling that heartbeat right now.
It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be so overwhelming. But it is incredibly beautiful. Just everywhere you look, there are mountains and clouds, and you're in just this enormous ocean of a lake, you know?
Yeah. I think it was a great idea that we got this two-person kayak, so Gabe can do most of the work, and I'll do the filming. Let's look at some of the scenery.
And the name of the small town that we just kayaked our sinking kayak to is San Pedro, and this is the public beach in San Paulo. It's very nice, tons of families, kids, and a few little stands selling some drinks, some snacks, and some ice cream. So here's my take of Las Cristalinas Beach. It's totally worth the kayak as long as your kayak isn't sinking. Make sure you're getting it from a reputable place. But also, you know, bring your food, bring your drinks, whatever you do. There's not so much happening here. There aren't like stalls or restaurant stalls. I mean, there are stalls selling snacks and chips and that sort of thing. And also just keep an eye on the weather. It's, you know, obviously nicest to be here on a beautiful sunny day. The sand is not really sand. It's kind of like pebbles. Still nice though. There is some trash on the beach, but it's not overwhelming. And it's also not like a pumping party beach. It's kind of a lot of families. You can tell it's a small town beach.
It's definitely a local beach.
Definitely the local beach. So what are we about to eat here, Megan?
Guacamole and chips.
What, you like the guacamole in Guatemala?
The guacamole has been amazing. I thought I had had good guacamole before, but this experience tops it.
Yeah, and the avocados here is just so cheap. I mean, you can't help it.
There weren't that many vegetarian options. I mean, there was pasta, but I didn't really want that. So Gabe tried to order me a veggie sandwich with cheese and vegetables, and it looks like there's literally some like broccoli and carrots and like a slice of yellow American cheese in there.
Hey, it's a veggie and cheese sandwich. That's what we were sold.
Probably gonna be pretty good, especially with some of that guacamole.
Tons of guacamole. So something we really love about Lake Atitlan, and also that reminds us quite a bit of Southeast Asia, is the prevalent use of tuk-tuks to get around. It's tuk-tuk is a kind of a modified taxi motorcycle, and there are fixed prices. Usually within the city it's 5 quetzales each, which is really cheap. And even to go from town to town, it's maybe 10 or 15 quetzales per person. It's a great way to see the villages, because you go through a few villages and to get a feel for the highway / road winding through these mountains out here. It's very cool. Never been off-roading in a tuk-tuk before. Here we are. Oh, get out and push. We can do it. We can do it. We got it. Okay, okay. Scruffy dog?
The scraggliest dog.
Scraggliest little beach vibe dog. Yeah, don't touch him.
I can't help myself.
It's sometime after 4 a.m. and after a quite terrifying van ride, Megan and I are climbing up to Indian Nose to see the sunrise. And what time did we wake up this morning?
3 o'clock.
And how? It's all part of the fun. And here's Lake Atitlan, first thing in the morning. Yeah. And we're here to see the sunrise. And it's... I can't even explain, so I'll just show you instead. What do you think, Megan?
It was a little nerve-wracking at first. My brain doesn't really work at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Not a morning girl. Not a morning girl.
I was a little nervous to do. It was about like a 45-minute hike in the dark with holding our flashlights, climbing up some very steep steps. But we made it up. It was still dark when we got up here, and the sun has slowly been rising.
If you look all the way down there in the middle of Lake Atitlan, you can see the first pair of public boats leaving for the morning. They go to Panajachel, to San Pedro. We'll be taking ours back to Panajachel tomorrow.
Gabe, what time is it?
6:07 a.m.
It is currently 6:07 a.m. here in Guatemala at San Pedro La Laguna. The sun is finally starting to peek out.
Yeah, there's been some volcano activity. When we first came up, we actually saw a kind of a plume of lava and smoke and ash coming out of Volcan Fuego. And you could just see it for a split second. I haven't seen any more lava, but there's been some periodic ash and smoke coming out of it.
I don't think I've ever woken up so early to do anything in my life, not even to catch a flight. But this is certainly worth it.
She's not a morning girl.
Certainly not. We woke up at 3 a.m. this morning, and I didn't really register what was going on. To put on my clothes, we had to walk down to the tourist agency,
Yeah,
I guess you'd call it.
That was quite a walk, yeah.
It was a little alarming because it was very dark out.
No one was out. We're the only people the whole time.
But eventually, at 4 o'clock, a van pulled up and picked us up, full of people. It was a little stuffy and crowded in there.
And very bumpy.
It's about an hour car ride to get out here, and then you start your hike in the dark. Make sure to bring a flashlight.
El líder maya antes, digamos que es el que estaba encargado acerca de todos los pueblos mayas, entonces para defender a su pueblo, a sus tierras, a todo eso. Entonces a él fue vapuleado o crucificado aquí sobre la nariz. Por eso, a nombre de eso, digamos que lo pusieron Nariz del Indio.
Nariz del Indio.
Y también la historia del lago es de que el lago antes era el cráter de un volcán grande. También es activo, era de fuego, pero ese volcán hizo una erupción muy grande. Entonces todo el resto del volcán son los que están alrededor. Se formaron otros cerros, se formaron el volcán. Entonces el lago no tiene o no se alimenta de ríos ni de algo, sino que el lago está regado, y podría ser que la investigación se ha hecho de que el volcán San Pedro es el que proporciona el agua. Son 23 en total. Guatemala 23. Se habla 23, pero alrededor del lago se habla 3 idiomas mayas. Está San Pablo, San Juan, San Pedro y Santiago. Es el mismo idioma, es el Tutujil.
Tutujil.
Sí, el nombre del idioma. Y San Marcos es poco la diferencia con San Pablo, pero es otro idioma, es el Cachiquel. Cachiquel es San Marcos, Santa Cruz, Panajachel. Y nosotros que vivimos aquí cerca, nuestro pueblo Santa Clara, se habla Quiche.
The hike down is a little easier, but these steps are so steep.
It's so steep. Kind of like the van ride over here.
Hey, Gabe. Endless scenic views.
It's daylight out now, huh?
Wow.
You can hear all the cities waking up.
Yeah, you can hear the birds too.
Maybe we got some rope coming.
We're walking through a... Is this corn?
Yeah, corn.
Walking through a cornfield.
Just like every morning, right, Megan?
Oh yeah, every morning we go on our 4 a.m. hikes.
I mean, it's just like the blue line. Megan.
Yes.
You notice the countryside when everybody has a machete.
And some sort of a cowboy hat.
That dragonfly was going on my face. Meg, you like the looks of this restaurant?
It's so cute.
Yeah, we haven't really had so much Japanese or Chinese or any sort of Asian or Indian food at all since coming to Guatemala. So this is very exciting that we get to have something that's a little bit different than what we've been eating for the last several weeks. Rainy day, we're right on the lake. It's just a nice place to eat a late lunch.
Teriyaki vegetable bowl, kind of encased in an omelet.
Oh,
so excited to eat this.
Oh yeah. I told the guy I like spicy.
Is it really spicy?
You know, not overly spicy, but there's a spice to it. Yeah, I never got Japanese curry, you know. When we're back at home, whenever I get Japanese food, so I was like, oh, let me get some sashimi or something like that. This is different. This is cool. So today is our last day here in Lake Atitlan. We are in San Pedro, and we're catching some late breakfast, early lunch before grabbing the shuttle down back to Panajachel, where we have a shuttle reserved to get back to Antigua. I'm sure gonna miss San Pedro. I think Lake Atitlan is a place where is the kind of place that you would struggle to find anywhere else in the world. It kind of has that same feeling, that same vibe. Something that I've loved about the Lake Atitlan area is that elsewhere in the world, like if you want to get that vibe, that feeling that you're far off in a place like no other, you have to travel really far.
And pay a lot of money.
And here in San Pedro, things are very affordable, and it just feels like you're in your own world.
Our Airbnb was literally $10 a night for our own private room and bathroom, and access to use the kitchen, coffee, water, everything.
So here's my personal opinion. If you're gonna come to Lake Atitlan, do it. Come to Lake Atitlan. If you're gonna come here, make sure you stop at San Pedro and give yourself many nights here. Try to be here on a weekend if you like to go out and have a party. But if you're not here on the weekend, it's also well worth it. If you want to go to San Marcos, that's great. I would recommend doing so with a solid plan, like a yoga course or something like that, because it is a very quiet small town. So you should go to San Marcos with your own plans. Jaibalito for us was really a day trip. It was very, very small, quiet town, and it has that nice swimming spot, Casa del Mundo, on the water. But again, not the kind of place where you're gonna just roam around and find something to do. Now, Panajachel, like any port city in the world, kind of does have the feeling where you have to be on your toes a little bit. If you're gonna stay in Panajachel, make sure you're staying somewhere near the main avenue, Avenida Santander, because then you have the freedom to really walk around and you don't have to be relying on the tuk-tuks the whole time. Meg and I were staying a little bit out of the center of town, so we did have to take a tuk-tuk, especially when it started getting dark, just for safety and to be in a more secure situation. Playa is worth it. It's a great place to find other tours around the lake. Most of the public boats and private boats actually leave from Playa. You can go basically anywhere in town. You just have to let the captain know what specific town you want to go to, and it shouldn't cost you more than 25 quetzales per person.
So today the plan was to check out of our Airbnb in San Pedro, go over to the public boat dock and catch the boat over to Playa, where our shuttle would come meet us at 4 o'clock to pick us up and take us back to Antigua. But there were some mishaps involved.
So I should preface this by saying that the shuttle boats, or the public boat, is a totally valid, kind of very convenient and safe way to get around the lake. But you have to be cautious about something that we didn't really anticipate. We left, it was sunny, the weather was calm, but as soon as we started reaching the middle of Lake Atitlan, which is a huge lake, I could see in the distance there were some serious storm clouds that we went right into the middle of, and it was a harrowing experience. We're still a little shaken up.
The water was extremely choppy. We could barely stay in our seats because the boat was bumping up and down so much.
And since this is not a completely enclosed boat, and since I was sitting at the very front of the boat holding our packs down, I was being thrown up into the air. Our packs were getting thrown up into the air, and they ended up on the floor of the boat, and I ended up just being completely soaked with water. We were hammered by these waves for maybe about 30 minutes. Everyone on boat was a little tense. The boat operator did give us a tarp to throw around the top. So basically I was sitting at the front of the boat holding the tarp with the back of my head and our packs, and it's just water was pouring in through all sides, and I was just being hammered the whole time. We're still really shaken up. I actually had to change all of my clothes because it's like I jumped into a swimming pool.
It was pretty scary experience. The boat was also fully packed with people, and we were among the few tourists on the boat, so we were probably the most panicked of everyone, but I think Gabe was also in the most uncomfortable position on the boat, trying to hold down the tarp for everyone.
Yeah, I was trying to hold down the tarp and make sure our bags wouldn't fly off the side. It's one thing to travel around and you don't have, maybe just your personal belongings, but I just feel a lot more tense when we're traveling with all of our stuff, our Macs, our computers, our passports,
our camera,
our
and all
credit
the
cards.
that goes with that.
So my worst nightmare obviously would be the worst of like our boat just not making it, but I was also really, really worried about us getting our electronics wet. And yes, we do have some travel bags. We have some zip bags. No, what are they called?
Ziplocs.
We have some Ziploc bags and we have some packing cubes, but I was just still really concerned about our electronics getting wet. If you're going to travel anywhere by pack, make sure your electronics are in a completely waterproof case.
Sobre a peristura